outbreak of infections with a novel type of coronavirus has sparked global anxiety and concern that the virus might spread too far and too fast and cause dramatic harm before health officials find a way to stop it. But what are the realities of the new coronavirus outbreak? Academics join us in searching answers and know more about those new coronavirus. In December last year, reports started to emerge that the coronavirus that specialists have never seen in humans had begun to spread among the population of Wuhan, a large city in the Chinese province of Hubei. Since then, the virus has spread to other countries, both in and outside Asia, leading authorities to describe this as an outbreak. At the end of last month, the World Health Organization declared this situation to be a public health emergency. Today, the novel coronavirus, currently dubbed 2019 nCoV for short, has been responsible for more than 42,000 infections in China and hundreds across 24 other world countries. In China, the virus has so far caused more deaths. What do we really know about this virus? And how is it likely to affect the population?
Is a novel coronavirus.
A novel coronavirus, also known as nCoV, is a new coronavirus that has not been previously identified. The 2019 novel coronavirus or 2019 nCoV is not the same as the coronavirus that commonly circulates among humans and can cause mild illnesses like common colds. A diagnosis with coronavirus 2298 and L63, OC43 or HKU1 is not the same as the 2019 nCoV diagnosis. These are different viruses and patients with 2019 nCoV will be evaluated and cared for differently than patients with common coronavirus diagnosis. Coronaviruses are made up of one strip of RNA, and that genetic material is surrounded by a membrane studded with little spike proteins. Under a microscope, those proteins stick up in a ring around the top of the virus, giving it its name corona, Latin for crown. When the virus gets into the body, those spike proteins attach to host cells, and the virus injects the RNA into the cell's nucleus, hijacking the replication machinery that has to make more virus infection and fuse.
The severity of that infection depends on a couple factors. One is what part of the body the virus tends to latch on it. Less serious type of coronavirus, like the ones that cause the common colds, tend to attach to cells higher up in the respiratory tract, places like your nose and throat. But there are generally relatives attached to the lungs and bronchial tubes, causing more serious infection. The MERS virus, for example, binds to a protein found in the lower respiratory tract and the gastrointestinal tract, so that in addition to causing respiratory problems, the virus also often causes kidney failure. The other thing that contributes to the severity of the infection is the protein in the virus produces. Different genes means different proteins. More virulent coronaviruses may have spike proteins better at latching onto human cells. Some coronaviruses produce proteins that can fend off the immune system. And when patients have to mount even larger immune responses, they get sicker.
Thank you, Anak TV. Thank you, IBC 13.
Sisimulan na natin ang pagbibigay ng mga tropeo.
Simulan na natin with the Best Children's Show. The Star Awards for Best Children's Show goes to Talent Academy IBC 13.
First of all, we would like to thank our Heavenly Father for this award. Thank you, Lord. This award is a symbol of all the blessings that we received since we started the journey till now. Secondly, to our families, okay, to my family, especially to my mom. Talent Academy production people, my AD, Justin Miguel, Master Editor Artin Julio, to all our parents, thank you for the support, for unending support, and of course, to all my talented, versatile, and cute cast para sa ating lahat po. To our home network, IBC 13, especially to our President, Miss Cathy Castro, mga kaibigan para sa ating lahat ito. This will inspire us to do more projects, more episodes, more segments that will give you more and educational, informative. Maraming salamat po.
Show host goes to Anastasia Paronda, Janelle Guzman, Sandy Gabriel Miranda, at Fred Lawrence Bacay, Talents Academy IBC 13.
Maraming salamat po sa taas na nagbigay sa amin ng pagkakataon. Talents Academy, IBC 13, especially to Ms. Kat De Castro, PMPC Mabuhay, especially to Direct June Miguel. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat na natiwala po sa Talents Academy.
Thank you, TFPC. Thank you, IBC 13. Coronavirus are a large family of viruses found in both animals and humans. Some infect people and are known to cause illness, ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases such as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome or MERS and severe acute respiratory syndrome known as SARS.
Coronavirus is a new strain of coronavirus that has not been previously identified in humans. The new or novel coronavirus, now called COVID-19, had not previously detected before the outbreak was reported in Wuhan, China in December 2019. Now, 2019 nCoV is from the same family of viruses as severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS-CoV, but it is not the same virus.
What is the source of the 2019 nCoV?
Public health officials and partners are working hard to identify the source of the 2019 nCoV. Coronavirus are a large family of viruses, some causing illness in people and others that circulate among animals, including camels, cats, and bats. Analysis of the genetic tree of this virus is going to know the specific source of the virus. SARS, another coronavirus that emerged to infect people, came from civet cats, while MERS and the coronavirus that emerged to infect people came from camels.
How does the virus spread?
This virus probably originally emerged from an animal source, but now seems to be spreading from person to person. It's important to note that a person-to-person spread can happen on a continuum. Some viruses are highly contagious, like measles, while other viruses are less so. At this time, it's unclear how easily or sustainably this virus is spreading between people. Learn what is known about the newly emerged coronaviruses.
Is the 2019 nCoV the same MERS-CoV or SARS virus?
No, coronavirus large family of viruses, some causing illness in people and others that circulate among animals, including camels, cats, and bats. The recently emerged 2019 nCoV is not the same as the coronavirus that causes Middle East respiratory syndrome or the coronavirus that causes severe acute respiratory syndrome. However, genetic analysis suggests this virus emerged from a virus related to SARS. There are ongoing investigations to learn more.
The first cases of nCoV were revealed by Chinese state media on December 31 after 44 people from the Chinese city of Wuhan were confirmed to be infected. Initial reports refer to the disease as mystery viral pneumonia, as infected people exhibited flu-like symptoms like persistent coughing, fever, shortness of breath, and difficulty in breathing. Where did it come from? The infection started in a Chinese city called Wuhan, a city of 11 million. It is the capital of China Hubei province and also served as a major transport hub in the country. Officials in Wuhan have put in place strict screening measures of people traveling out of the city, with medics even taking passengers' temperatures before planes are allowed to fly out.
Global Awards Outstanding Executive for Best TV Child Performer, Janela Glisman.
Our Global Award Outstanding Executive for the Most Promising TV Child Performer, Naomi Torregoza. Our Global Awards Outstanding Executive for Best TV Director,
Mr. John Miguel.
for the Best Children's Show,
Talents Academy. And also, another award for Talents Academy is the Best Educational Program.
The city is also currently on lockdown, effective pre-trapping its citizens. So far, cases has been confirmed in all regions of China. The virus also reached South Korea, Japan, Thailand, Cambodia, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka, India, Thailand, Taiwan, Vietnam, the Philippines, Australia, the US, Canada, Finland, France, Germany, and UAE, with more cases confirmed in people with history of travel to Wuhan.
Health officials in China have said that the virus probably originated in animals and was transmitted to humans by contact with animals at a late market. Such a special has yet to be confirmed. Chinese officials in China have also said that the virus can be spread from person to person. Is it related to SARS and MERS?
The pneumonia-like disease caused by the COVID-19 is similar to SARS and MERS in that nCoV, like MERS-CoV and SARS-CoV, is also a coronavirus. Coronaviruses are a large group of viruses that can cause a range of diseases in humans and animals. This is as simple as the common cold to diseases like MERS and SARS.
MERS is a viral respiratory disease that was first identified in Saudi Arabia in 2012. At the end of 2015, 483 deaths and total of 1,180 cases were reported in the Middle East. MERS symptoms include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. Pneumonia may also be present, but not always.
Though it remains unknown where exactly the virus came from, health officials have said that the virus might have come from camels, which is common in the Horn of Africa and the Middle East.
Team in award refers to the 2019 Most Promising Male Team Performer Award to Justin Miguel.
Congratulations, Talents Academy People's Choice Award 2019 Best Children's Show Award.
Achiever Awardee for Best Children's Show Director, Mr. Jude Miguel.
We would like to call on our top choice Best Male Child TV Show Performer and top choice Best Female Child TV Show Performer from Talents Academy. They are also the recipient of top choice Best Children's Show.
SARS is another viral respiratory disease which originated in Guangdong Province, southern China in 2003. A SARS epidemic spread to 26 countries in 2003, resulting in a total of 8,000 cases and over 800 deaths in China and Hong Kong. Transmitted by human-to-human contact is characterized the following flu-like symptoms: fever, headache, diarrhea, shivering, dry cough, and shortness of breath.
Who has finally named the new coronavirus? The UN Health Agency announced that COVID-19 will be the official name of the deadly virus from China, saying the disease a very grave threat for the world, but there was a realistic chance of stopping it. CO stands for corona, V for virus, and D for disease. while 19 was for the year as the outbreak was first identified on the 31st of December. The name had been chosen to avoid references to a specific geographical location, animal species, or group of people in line with international recommendations for naming aimed at preventing stigmatization. Everyone is on race to find vaccine. Efforts to develop a vaccine meanwhile continue. However, experts reckon one won't be ready for another 18 months in the meantime. The World Health Organization has told countries to make do what they already have, and above all, not to take any chances. Hundreds of infections have been reported in dozens of countries and territories, with the death toll in mainland China now hovering at over 8,000. According to WHO, we are not defenseless. We have to use the current window of opportunity to hit hard and stand in unison to fight this virus in every corner, looking possible vaccine options to combat the virus.
Be safe!
Blackpink in your area. Blackpink in your area.
Being a bad girl, I know I am. And I'm so hot, I need a fan. I don't want a boy, I need a man. Boombayah. Yeah, 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 boombayah. Yeah, 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 boombayah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Boom, boom, ba, boom, ba, yeah. I'm a fun love, baby. You can finna catch me. Give you all of this, baby. Call me pretty and nasty. 'Cause we gonna get it, my love. You can bet it on black. We gon' double the stack on them. I'll be the bunny and you be my Clyde. We ride or die. X's and O's. 시간은 흘러가는데 마음만 급해지지. 내 세상은 너 하나만 missing you. So tonight won't you set me free? Baby 날 터질 것처럼 난 저기만 생각해. 너가 그리 어려워. 거짓말처럼 키스해줘. 내가 너에게 맞을
지금 내가 걸어가는 거린 Blackpink 4-way 사거리 동서남북 사방으로 running 이는 버킷리스트 싹 다 버려 널 당기는 것도 멀리 밀치는 것도 제 멋대로 하는 bad girl 조금 싫어하고 누가 뭐라 하던 with a bass drop it's another banger 두 번 생각해 흔한 남들처럼 착한 척은 못하니까 착각하지 마 쉽게 웃어주는 건 날 위한 거야 아직은 잘 모르겠지 굳이 원하면 test me 넌 불보듯이 뻔해 만나는 걸 원했다면 I'll wait till I do what I hit you with that 뚜루뚜루뚜루 Oh yeah, oh yeah Hit you with that 뚜루뚜루뚜루 Oh yeah, oh yeah What you gonna do when I come through with that What you gonna do when I come through with that 뜨거워 like fire 뜨거워 like fire like pink 뜨거워 like fire 뜨거워 like fire Hit you with that 뚜루뚜루뚜
Gusto ko pong magsabi ng congratulations sa Talents Academy for winning the Best Children's Show at the 39th Consumer's Choice Awards. Sana marami pa tayong projects together kasi ang mga batang nasa Talents Academy ay talaga namang napaka-talented and they deserve more exposure. Congratulations!